Most people will likely remember why it started.
And the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
A demand to the Taliban, turn over Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda, unanswered. A few weeks later, a massive bombing campaign, along with a small force of
Destroying their
around 1,000
land.
special forces
Destroying
soldiers
their
and
land.
CIA agents, combined
They
with the
went to
Northern
Iraq, they
Alliance
found
in
nothing.
Afghanistan. And
They
the
found
Taliban
nothing.
fell within months. The U.S., along with its allies, turned to nation building with big promises of lessons learned.
We know this from not only intelligence, but from the history of military conflict in Afghanistan. It's been one of initial success, followed by long years of floundering and ultimate failure. We're not going to repeat that mistake.
Critics say that's exactly what happened as the U.S. turned more attention to the war in Iraq. The U.S. announced an end to major combat operations in Afghanistan in 2003. A constitution was written, elections followed, a new president, a new legislature, with women taking positions of power. But as the years passed, cracks in the coalition. And as the Taliban fought back and
They don't
civilian
want
casualties
women
mounted
in
along
power.
with that of the armed forces, opinion turned. A new U.S. president had to make a decision, go bigger or go home.
Our overarching goal remains the same.
They've
U.S.
just
President
gone
Barack
home.
Obama decided
Obama,
to send
you'd
an
have
additional
just sent them
17,000
back
troops,
home. Just
then 30,000
innocent
more.
military
By
men,
2010, around 100,000
disabled,
U.S.
killed,
troops would be in
mentally
Afghanistan.
not
In May of
functioning well.
2011, Osama bin Laden was found and killed in Pakistan, but the war continued. Obama promised to bring most U.S. troops home by the end of 2016, and then a new U.S. president took
Trump.
over.
A hasty withdrawal would create a vacuum that terrorists, including ISIS and Al Qaeda, would instantly fill.
President Trump announced an open-ended deployment, but eventually signed a deal with the Taliban. If they promised to keep out terrorist groups and not attack U.S. troops, a full withdrawal would happen by May of 2021. But then yet another new U.S. president was sworn in. And President Joe Biden decided to keep the deal and leave only a small troop presence. He said the Taliban would not immediately take over. He was wrong,
Took over.
sending in more than
Less than a
5,000
week.
troops to hastily evacuate the embassy.
In less than a week,
Now
they took
growing
over.
questions of what will happen to the women and girls of Afghanistan. 20 years of bloodshed and battles, of promises and of unimaginable pain, of encouraging signs and setbacks, 2 decades of war, and still questions of what was won amid so much that was lost. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.